think I kind of like how these lights work, but I don't know if they work with the room, but the room is still very, very brown, even though I added some more decorations on that wall to match the back wall, and this still just doesn't feel right to me. Hello everybody, I'm Martin. Welcome to another episode of Glacial Awakening, and as you can see, I have been decorating, but I still don't know how I entirely feel about this. These lights look better, but I still don't think they look entirely right. I might have to move those slabs up and embed them in the blocks above them to make them a little more recessed in there. I don't know. I'm just not quite digging this. Something doesn't feel quite right with this, but it's a step forward. I've also started embedding some glowstone in the floor right here so I can start removing some of the torch spam because I think this goes with the blocks on the floor, but I don't have that much glowstone. This is going to take a while. So I figured we would actually go do some more progression while I wait for more ores to come in. And I figured I'd stop lying and we could go do... No, let's go make the generator and stop lying. And to make the generator, we either need to make a windmill or a water wheel. And this time, I'm going to intentionally make the windmill instead of accidentally making a windmill. And the thermoelectric generator. And as I said previously, while this looks innocuous, it looks like it's just some constant plates, which we just need to put some copper nickel in the alloy furnace for that. This copper block here in the middle, which is normally very easy, is not in this pack, and we need to start by making the engineer's workshop, which that thankfully is not that hard, although it does require some weird materials. We need a simple machine chassis, which we can make, it's just kind of a pain, some plates, including steel ones, and then these enriched infused woods, which are from Astral Sorcery and thankfully aren't hard to make. They're just normal infused wood planks combined with aquamarine. And thankfully I have the infused wood planks here right in my Immersive Engineering chest because we needed to make treated wood. Because let me tell you, the change in that recipe doesn't entirely make me happy, even though it's not hard to make infused wood. I actually really like the way this block looks. Too bad they take aquamarines to make, but maybe I can use that in a build somewhere. Yeah, I know I'm getting distracted, but I actually kind of like how this looks and it's recessed, and I've got the arcane blocks in there as slabs. I really kind of like how this looks. I was trying to do accenting with putting more blocks around here with the slabs to remove some of the dark oak, but it all ended up just looking wrong. Alright, but now I have the engineer's workshop done. And if you configure the pipe to put in some plant oil, we now have this populated with plant oil. So now we can actually go ahead and try to make this. But I think we also need one of each of these tools as well. So we need to make a handsaw, a knife, and a carver out of some material. The difference is the durability is on them, so I gotta figure out what I can reasonably make. It looks like diamond might be an option, so that's probably what I'll end up doing. Yeah, the only thing higher than diamond for durability is the platinum one, and well, I don't have platinum. So we can easily get diamonds, so we'll just make all the tools out of this, and it looks like the tools are pretty easy to make. Alright, so we've got each of the tools in, so we've got that much finished now. You know, one of the things I probably should do real fast is make sure none of these take anything other than plant oil, because then I'm going to have to need multiples of these. But it looks like we're good. Now to make this, we however need a bunch of these LV wire coils. To make these, we need a bunch of copper wire from Immersive Engineering, and there's two ways we can do this. You can either manually use shears to cut up some plates, or we can make the metal press. I don't want to make the metal press, but I suppose I should do my due diligence and at least go look what it takes. Well, the good news, bad news is the core recipe isn't changed, but it does require having an engineering block, which is another quest, which requires a whole lot of stuff. But maybe this is something we can do because I don't see any gotchas in here other than these steel components, but I think can make those on our table. It just requires steel plates and copper ingots. I hadn't intended to make the plate press today, but I guess that's what we're doing, so let's go finish 2 quests instead of 1, since we also do need to fill this one in. Alright, and that's at least the heavy engineering block done. Now, however, we need the other pieces, so we need steel scaffolding, redstone engineering block, another piston, and 2 conveyor belts. Oh, I was worried that the conveyor belts were about to be blocker because I realized they might have taken plastic, but thankfully they take leather, which we've got plenty of. Classic art. I spoke for like 2 minutes without hitting the record button. So I put together the press. I hate this thing, and I put it over here because it has to be powered from the top, so I put it next to the squeezer because it's right there. Now we just need to add a means to insert and extract from it. Extracting is relatively easy. We can just use a dropping conveyor belt, which is just a trapdoor and a conveyor. We've got tons of conveyors right now. Putting them in is a little bit harder though. We can use the extracting conveyor belt, but this requires a strip curtain, which requires a bunch of tough fabric, which requires a bunch of hemp. And frankly, I'm going to need that hemp for the windmills that we're going to make. So I'm going to probably just use a hopper and make a mess for the time being. The other thing we need to do is make the engineer's blueprint for the molds so that I can actually make the wire press mold. And then we just put it on like that. Then we come up to our hopper, toss a bunch in, and then smashy smashy, and we get our wires. And then once we have the wires, we can make the coils. And from there, make the block. So that only leaves the rest of this. So now we need to make some Constantin in the alloy furnace. So I just need to get some copper and nickel, and we've got that. And we should be just about done. Alright, so it turns out I was going to have to make the press all along no matter what I wanted to do because we need the plate press for it. Because to make Constantin plates, the only thing we can use is the plate press or the pressurizer, and the pressurizer is outside our means to make right now because it requires an industrial machine chassis, which we're not up to yet. So I guess we go make some plates. I have got to absolutely move this plate press. I keep accidentally picking up the things that are dropping onto the conveyor belt, so that's not great. Plus this is a bad spot for automating it long term because I'm really going to want to pipe it into my A2 system and put stuff straight into storage. So this is temporary at best. Anyhow, now that we have all of the pieces, we now have the thermoelectric generator. Hooray, that's the hard part. Because now all we have to do is make the windmill blades, which is more horrifying than I thought it was going to be. I didn't realize this is going to be a workshop recipe, and it requires a bunch of plant oil, although thankfully not too much. That said, it is just normal wood and normal sticks. This isn't even treated wood, so this should be pretty easy compared to, you know what, even the water wheel doesn't use treated wood in this pack. That's actually interesting to see. Well, whatever, we're going for aesthetics in this one anyways, correct? You know what? I did it again. Instead of making a windmill, instead of making a water mill this time, I made the thermoelectric generator instead of the kinetic dynamo. This is the same thing we made for Magneticraft. Thankfully, the kinetic dynamo is basically the same thing. We just need to make another copper coil block. One of these days, I'm going to learn to double check what I'm making. All right, that was at least a quick fix, but now I feel foolish. Now I need to go make the windmill blades for real this time. Okay, so I think I'm going to hang the windmill off the back of the wall here near my animal pens, like maybe slightly below it. Let me find some nice way to make that look and hopefully not get attacked too many times while doing this, since I've already was attacked by somebody with a bow inside my fence cordon. I don't know how this keeps happening. I can't find where they're getting in. Also, so far I only have enough hemp to make a single sail, so this is going to be a very sad looking windmill. The good news is that it works. I haven't made it pretty yet because I'm not sure what I want to do at this point, but there is a downside. Because I've got this line coming in from the outside out through that wall over there, I buried the capacitor just to make it easier to connect the outgoing power to it for now. But while with Magneticraft power removed, you can see that it's not going up, and with only 2 sails on, it is treading water on how much my ME system costs to run. So that is not ideal. It'll go up more as I add more sails to it, but I think I A, need to hook up the Magneticraft power back to it, and B, I think I need to stick to my original plan of having more than one windmill if that's what I'm gonna do. So I need to figure out a layout for them. I need to make them prettier and I need to add more. But I don't think I'm gonna do that today. I think I'm just gonna go use plant matter balls on the hemp to try to fill out all of the sails and probably call it a night because it's getting late, and with finishing up Enigmatica, this has been a long week for me. So I think I'm gonna call it here. That said, I do want to mention, in case you missed it, we have started a new Discord community for this channel. There should be a link on the screen and in the description for the video and elsewhere on the channel. Anyhow, if you found this episode interesting and entertaining, please consider leaving a like or subscribing if you're new. As always, I'm Ard. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.